If I want to be like CMAT, I need to be creative on the spot. I need to be engaging. I need to be like, I can't tune out. What's he going to say next? Ostrich. See? Do you know what I mean? Hello and welcome to Conversations with Cornelius. I'm a comedian. This podcast is about my life, my wife, my likes and dislikes, hurling, football, movies, sex, drugs and rock and roll without the sex, drugs and rock and roll. There are going to be special guests and always regular contributors, but mostly it's going to be me and my main squeeze, the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. We have tested and tasted too much lover. Through a chink too wide, there comes in no wonder. But here, in the Advent darkened room, where the dry black bread and the sugarless tea of penance will charm back the luxury of a child's soul, we'll return to doom the knowledge we stole, but could not use. Paddy Kavanagh knew what he was at when he was writing a bit of poems, lads, wasn't he? Advent. We're right in the middle of Leaving Cert as well. So that's a poem there from Soundings, the poetry book I did for my Leaving Cert. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host, Cornelius. What's the crack with you? Are you well? It's Monday morning. I'm recording this now on Saturday, 2 days before Monday, but you're not going to be hearing it until Monday. Some of you probably hear it a bit later than that, My week has been chock-a-block. I'm up the walls, I'm on the roads, I'm in cars, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm listening to music, I'm listening to fucking people on stories again. I have to stop listening to stories. But look at my stories, if you wouldn't mind, because I'm selling all my gigs on my stories. So just don't be taking any advice from me, do you know? This week I've been all over the country. I was in Collins, obviously. That's not all over the country. That's in Cork, the heart of Cork City, on Wednesday, doing some new material before Chris Kent's work in progress show. The room was jam-packed. Collins is a beautiful comedy club, lovely little venue on Douglas Street, and it's a really little kind of artistic hub. Chris has been running his whip shows inside there for the last, I think, 4 or 5 weeks on the trot, and you can only squeeze about 50 souls inside there, and it always feels like a special room. The Cocoa Club had a residency there at one stage years and years ago. And Adele, who is the proprietor in there, really looks after artists well. It's it's a soulful place. Lovely beer garden out there as well. And they even have a hidden little staging area that I came across last Wednesday when I was out there. If you are in Cork and you're sauntering around the place and you're looking for a beer and you're looking for just to kind of get out of life for a half an hour, for 40 minutes, that's a good place to escape. Collins. So I was there on Wednesday and I tried some new jokes. I don't know what to talk. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm still on tour with Pull Hard, but I don't know what to talk about on my new show. So I'm trying out all new bits and pieces. I was talking about my dick for a bit, So that's always a sign that you haven't a fucking clue what you're talking about if you have to resort to your dick, So I'm clearly at the beginning again. That's the scary part of stand-up comedy. Like, I'm in the middle of touring my show now, and I'll be like promoting that fairly heavily. In fact, you should go. The second leg is about to be launched. Go onto my website, corneliuspatrickosullivan.com, and it's coming to a town near you. But like, while that show is being performed, I'm trying to come up with a concept for my next show. It's relentless. Chris is almost ready to go back on tour with his new show, and it only feels like, I'm talking about Chris Kent here now, it only feels like he's finished his last show. So it's relentless. Dolan's then on Thursday. I was in Dolan's on Thursday down in Limerick. We were in the Casbah. All week I'm with Chris, and it's thrilling being on the road. I swear to God, just even listening to other comedians is inspiring, because it makes you like I was in a car with Chris now for 7 hours yesterday, and honestly, like, we talk about everything, but like, when we talk about comedy, it's like going to UCC studying fucking higher level whatever English. Did they do higher level English in UCC? Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask. I still won't, like, do you know what I mean? I did lower level English, lads, for my leaving cert, so I still have to read out poems to remember them. Where was I then last night? I was in Navan in County Meath last night. Navan, above Navan. The interesting thing about Navan is if you spell it backwards, it's the same. It's still Navan. It's always Navan and Navan, you know. Navan, Navan. We were in a place called the Central. I was in the Central. I first did a gig in the Central. It's a pub in the middle of the town, and they have a little kind of a comedy room upstairs, and there's a festival going on there at the moment. I first did a gig there 12 years ago. This is the trajectory of a stand-up comedian, right? 12 years ago, there was a comedy forum on the internet called boards.ie. And people would put up gigs that were up for grabs. You know, I'm doing a gig in Mitchellstown. I need someone to do 10 minutes. And then 15 or 20 comedians would be like, I can do it. But this guy was in Cork. He runs a gig in the Central. Alan is his name, 12 years ago. And he said, I'm in Cork. I need a spin to Navan. I can pay you in 10 minutes unpaid crowd work. I'll pay you for the petrol, but you can do a spot for free. And I took that spot. That's how desperate you would be for stage time. And Alan turned out to be an absolute gentleman and ended up paying me for the spot as well afterwards. He just didn't advertise it on boards at the time because he didn't want an influx of people looking for paid work. And I was there last night and opened for Chris. Again, I did some new dick jokes, and I don't think they did well. You know, I don't think they did well. And I'll give you one of, like, I was comparing my penis, right, to Cristiano Ronaldo, right? I think there's a lot of comparisons there. Like, I mean, it's very fond of itself, you know. Should have retired 3 or 4 years ago. Still likes to play a game, you know. Yeah, as I said, there's a lot of work that has to be done on those jokes, you know. First of all, you have to make them funny. And second of all, you have to stop talking about your dick on stage. Kids are on summer holidays, lads. Oh yeah, this is just my intro here, by the way. It's a long intro this week, and there's a reason for that, but I'll tell you all about it after I tell you about the kids being on summer holidays. They're after breaking up now for the summer holidays. In the door there yesterday, and one fella, his hair is green, and the other fella has dyed his hair purple. And that was just a quiet day then. That was a quiet day in the house. Like 2 months they're going to be off for now. 2 full months. And we've them in every single summer camp that we can get them into. They're doing the cool camps. They're doing all the summer camps. It is, I just don't understand. I just don't, like, they're bored. How are they bored? Like, I mean, it has never been a better time to be a child. Honest to God. There is so, like, boredom shouldn't exist. They're being ferried left, right and centre. Play dates, hurling, football, soccer, athletics, fucking taekwondo. Taekwondo fucking do. There was no, I didn't have a Chinese till I was in my 20s. Yeah. Seriously, like, honest to God. Entitlement is off the fucking charts. But emotionally, I will say they're very in touch. Kids are very in touch with their emotions now. Like, because, you know, like, I don't think when I was growing up, my parents, and they're lovely people and I love them dearly, both my mother and father, but, like, we never talked about our feelings. There was never any talk about money. If I asked my dad how much would you have there now in the bank, there's no way he'd tell me. Whereas Harvey, I think he has my PIN code. I think he'd be checking you know, there's money coming out of like for fucking video games and stuff like that. I think I'm paying subscriptions to some YouTube channels that I've never seen. You know, they're just clever. Yeah. So they're off now. So that means, like, there's no, like, that's like I'm gonna have to fucking be doing jobs now and stuff on top of my normal stuff of doing jobs, like. So that's great. Off to Thurles tomorrow. The All Ireland quarter-final. Cork and Offaly. Cork are into the quarter-final after losing to Limerick by a single solitary point in the Munster final. And now we have a potential banana skin of Offaly. Dublin caught Limerick on the hop last year, and I think Cork are cognizant of that, But I'll be talking about that more in a minute, later on in this episode. What I want to talk about tomorrow is the experience that I'm looking forward to. So I was able to get tickets for this game tomorrow. I was able to get 5 tickets sitting right beside each other. So my sister and my nephew and my dad and my son Harvey are all going to this game tomorrow. And when I was doing this podcast today, I dropped my young fella Harvey off to my sister's house, and she was like, will I travel with you now tomorrow? So now the 4 of us are all going to be hopping into the Yaris and snailing our way down to Thurles tomorrow in the summer sunshine. And we'll be meeting my dad somewhere along the way. And no doubt we'll find ourselves in some public house sipping on some sort of a beverage. Myself, I'll be driving, so it'll be possibly a carbonated soft drink. I might treat myself to something carbonated. My father definitely will not be having something carbonated. He'll be having a pint of plain, and my sister will probably have a drink, and my young fella will probably have a Club Orange, and I don't know what Archie will have, but there'll be bars of chocolate, and there'll be potatoes, and there'll be crack, and there'll be people that you'll know, and there'll be people that you didn't see for fucking 20 years, and you'll be bumping into strangers, and then you'll see Offaly jerseys. We're playing Offaly jerseys. Offaly, the Offaly flag is the tricolour, the faithful county, and it's great to see Offaly back at the head of the table in hurling, because they're a traditional county. They play both sports, both codes, hurling and football. And I remember growing up battling with Offaly, and it's great to have them there now. The Dooleys and the Whelans were great hurlers, and the Pilkingtons. And I'm looking forward to the cultural aspect of the game. I'm looking forward immensely to the game and being fucking engulfed in it and drunk and intoxicated in the hour of it, where all life just fucking disappears into non-existence as you're watching the yellow slitter fly left and right and up and down and in and out, and you're roaring at men that you wouldn't roar at in a million years if you met them in the street, shouting obscenities, losing the fucking mind, losing yourself in the and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully we'll get over the line, as we say. And if we do get over the line, then we live to fight another day. And that's what's beautiful. But the jeopardy keeps you alive as well. It's knockout from here on in now. And knockout is where it's at. It's like it's proper championship. And I'm just eagerly anticipating tomorrow now. Just before I move on there from the GA as well for a while, guys, I just want to say one thing as well. I want to give huge kudos and a tip of the cap to the Cork senior footballers who were triumphant against Donegal last weekend, against all the odds, against every sane person on this planet who thought they knew something about Gaelic football. They gave Cork no chance. I personally did not think we would win either, and I love Cork football. I also looked at flights. I also looked at travelling up, but the only ticket that I could get was a terrace ticket, and that wasn't even guaranteed. And then I just looked at the logistics and I said, fuck it, no. And I'll tell you, lads, I regret it so much. I really regret it. I'm in a WhatsApp group, and we call ourselves the Ballyclaw Ultras. There's about 5 or 6 of us inside in this WhatsApp group, and we were all looking at it, and we were all talking about the logistics of it. And some of the lads had gone to Tyrone this year, and some of the lads went to Derry this year. So we've both done trips up to the north, and we just thought, fuck it, no. We all thought it, like. And we'd be ultras, we'd be hardcore, like. So, yeah, for the lads to win that match, amazing. I just want to take my fucking hat off, even though I've no hat on this week. Should have wore a hat. What did I take off? Did I take off my top? No, I'll leave that on now. I was wearing this shirt, lads. I was wearing this shirt because I was going to be doing a hard-hitting interview with Richie. But, he never turned up. He's texting me there now. I'll text him back later. We'll get him on. Richie's a legend. All my tour dates are up on my website, guys. I am driving it on with Pull Hard. My tour show is going all the way up to December, and then I'm pulling the plug in December then. I will be out on the road for most of next year, working on my new show and hoping to bring that to your ocular cavities in 28. But right now I'm on tour with Pull Hard, a show about hurling, a show about parenthood, a show about life. I think it's funny. I think it's suitable for everyone. Now there are some paedophile jokes in there, so it's probably not suitable for everyone. But there are no jokes about my dick, so it is suitable for everyone. www.corneliuspatrickosullivan.com. Sign up to my Patreon if you want to hear me and my wife do a Patreon exclusive episode every single week. We record inside in our own house in Killavullen, and everything and anything can be said. We have the crack. It is good fun. Sign up there. It's a great way of supporting my work. Right, and it keeps the lights on, even though the lights aren't working great in the studio today. There's a Virgin Media Park, CMAT is playing in Virgin Media Park today, and there's a sound check going on, and the lights are flashing here, and the producers are in the background. They're losing their fucking marbles. They're running around the place like blue arse flies. But like, the thing about CMAT is she was in the roundy about 3 or 4 years ago doing a gig to about 12 people. So that is what I'm taking from that. I'm here doing a podcast to myself. Maybe in 3 or 4 years' time, I'll be in Virgin Media Park and there'll be someone here and be like, what's wrong with the fucking lights and the sound? And someone will say, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan's in charge of the electrical over. He's after, he doesn't know what he's fucking arse from his elbow. The comedy career went fucking tumbling down when he kept talking about his cock. So yeah, that's it. Support my Patreon, guys. Get on board. And I want to say thank you to everyone who signed up lately. It's growing and I appreciate it. Okay. So this is weird now because this is when I'd normally bring on the guest. This is the intro that I had. This week on the podcast, I'd like to welcome back a guest who was on this podcast a few years ago. At the time, he was making noise for his no-nonsense, flat-to-the-mat, everyday food reviews. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your friend of mine, Richie's Food and Nature. And the crowd go wild. Richie's not here. So we got to roll with the punches. If I want to be like CMAT, I need to be creative on the spot. I need to be engaging. I need to be like, I can't tune out. What's he going to say next? Ostrich. See? Do you know what I mean? You just don't know what's coming up next. You just don't know. Am I going to go left? Am I going to go right? That's the thing. So normally I'd say, how's things, right? And someone would give me a bit back, and then I'd ask them what they had for breakfast. So I'm just going to tell you what I had for breakfast this morning. All right. I had 3 scoops of yogurt, Greek yogurt. That's it. And I took my ADHD medication then because you have to have it with protein. And I'm kind of coming up on that now. So I'm feeling good. Trending topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. World Cup fever, Richie. World Cup is on this week, guys. I was watching it. I wrote a few jokes after watching Ronaldo. Tried to compare him to my cock. I did them live. They didn't go well. I was playing poker during the week. I had a game of poker midweek, went into the casino and played a Texas Hold'em, got down to the final table, finished in the bubble, but I got to watch the whole England match. And they looked good, lads, and it's really annoying me now. They looked very, very good. And like, they're not singing the song either. I haven't heard them going, it's coming home yet. Like, when you hear that, then you're going, oh, it's definitely not coming home. So I can't wait for them to start singing it, but they seem to be humble. And I also, there's a few people, actually, Sean, have you got some of the comments there? I want to read out some of the comments because I had a few comments from people there on the podcast, and few English people commented as well, saying that they weren't agreeing with my takedown of them, and I just didn't get back to those comments. So here are some of the comments, lads, right, on the trending topics, which was World Cup fever. Nice little segue. Ian Walker 4 days ago said, brilliant. I love the openness. Thank you, Ian Walker. I wonder, is he the footballer? Anne-Marie, 5 days ago, said, one of the best podcasts I've listened to in a long while. Kieran is so open and honest and an admirable man. I think she spelt my name wrong there. Kieran. Sean McGarry then, 11 days ago. Brilliant. Just one word, no full stop. So it's an ongoing sentence there. Caroline Mahoney, 15 days ago. Noel, I love your honesty. You can feel both. I love your honesty and you can feel both. Amazing woman. Then Mairead Deneen did one of these emojis, which is the heart emoji with the hands. And I appreciate that, Mairead. Thank you so much. Ricky Byrne, 19 days ago, Ricky came on and said, with relation to shepherd's pie, years ago, my mum made a shepherd's pie. And when we were called into the kitchen, our neighbour and great friend that has Down syndrome started crying and told my mum, I don't want to eat the pie made out of shepherd. That is hilarious. Yeah. Look, listen, it could easily happen, couldn't it? Like, I mean, when you're a kid, you'd fucking believe anything. Right. Maybe I should have screened these before I just started reading them out randomly, but let's continue. 19 days ago, Daniel B said, Kieran is a fantastic human being, brought on by the horrors of addiction, helped me in brewery and helped members of my family. Sometimes your biggest obstacle is your best outcome. Kieran taught me that. Also told me, stay off the Smarties. And I have ever since. Thank you, Kieran. That's the Kieran Carey podcast, lads. I implore you, if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. It's absolutely fantastic. 22 days ago, Killian came in. Very good interview. Shortened the road for me on a long drive. Very good. And then Danny G, 23 days ago, said, 2 great episodes. Bernard is a brilliant guest. That was the Bernard Casey episode. 5 weeks ago, looking forward to part 2 by Jog MGMC. Interesting. And they just go on and they go on. So what I'm basically saying here is we are reading the comments. We're loving the comments on the podcast. Just go scroll down here for a couple of more. I absolutely love this lady. Down to earth, funny and kind. Fast forward to part 2. Fab lads. Fab lads, lovely chats, lovely people. Lads, I'm only coming across, the lads were showing me these comments beforehand. I'm blown away. Like, I was looking at the YouTube comments and I was like, oh, there's more, like, there's not many comments on YouTube, but there's fucking loads of comments here. You're absolutely gas, lads. Podcast's not half long enough. Well, Anita, like, fucking sign up to the Patreon, I'd say. Do you know? If you fucking love it that much, like, you know. That was 11 weeks ago, and I haven't seen fucking sight nor sound of you. Katie, can't stop listening to this one. 3 by the Lees for life. That's when we had Sinead and Chris on. 2 legends. Must get them back on again. Love the show. I put it on in the car so the kids might pick up the Cork accent. Richie from Dubai. I wonder, maybe that's Richie. He's out in Dubai. That's why he's not here. Fucking, he's in a time machine 13 weeks ago. John Canty said, good interview. What a player Cullum was. Some left foot. Cullum O'Neill, the Cork senior footballer. There's a bank of, and they're all about different people. I love Ross Brown. I was at his very first ever show in the Everyman years ago when there wasn't a lot of people there, and I have never laughed so much in my life. I've been following him for years and I think he's a genius. This was a great interview. Thanks, Cornelius. Well, that's the first person to mention my name now, lads. And I'll be honest, Christine Murray, you're right at the top of my fucking charts. You're my favourite person that has ever commented on something for mentioning my name. Everyone else is going, oh, Kieran was so great. Oh, Bernard is brilliant. Oh, your wife is fantastic. Why don't you fucking marry her? See how fantastic she is. Do you know what I mean? Diego here, love the show. Katie says $6.50 in America for the Patreon, but I suppose we deserve to pay more for everything with our president's behaviour of late, but also it's worth it. Katie, you're top of the charts. I love you, Katie. You've been an OG patron from day one. God bless you. Danny G, who's also patron. Really enjoyed that con. Mentioned the name. Fair play to you, Danny. Andrew was a class guest. Easy fella to listen to. Lads, I'm not going to go on now and read all that kind of stuff. Sean, sorry, I think I broke your phone. I think I broke your phone. We need to move. That's World Cup fever. We need to move on to the next trending topic, which was Moscow, right? Moscow was the next one. I was going to ask Richie about Moscow. Did he think that it was, like the propaganda that Ukraine are bombing the living shit out of Moscow now at the moment? I think it's not propaganda at all, because I saw it with my own two eyes. And apparently the full wheel is turning politically now. And like the Ukraine are getting on top of that, of the Russians. And Trump is after backing back from the Israelis in a huge way during the week, which I'm like, this is class, and I still think Trump's a fucking wally now, but you know what I mean? I don't want anyone helping the Israeli bastards, because they're bombing the living shit out of Lebanon at the moment, trying to take their land. They've fucking Palestine destroyed, and they had the greatest, they had the greatest, I suppose, superpower in the world backing them. So now that he's backing back, party on, is the wheel fucking turning, I hope it is. Too many people have died. There's too much pain going on. There's too much fucking anger and shit going on. It needs to stop, and hopefully this is the beginning of it. So that's what I was going to talk about. That. And then I was going to end up then, the last trending topic is mass. Do you go to mass, Rich? We'll never know. Well, we'll know in a few weeks, I suppose, when he comes on. If the phone is working, Richie, with you, you're on it enough. Mass. I've been thinking about going back to mass myself. I haven't gone to I've been going down the old religious rabbit hole there recently, saying my prayers to God. I asked a priest to come onto the podcast. I was at a wedding there a few months back, and the priest who was at the wedding was a most amazing man. And I was talking to him afterwards, and I tracked down his number, and I asked him would he come onto the podcast, and he said he'd pray to God about it. Right, and let me know. And then he rang me back the following week. Sure, God didn't want him to come onto the thing, so he didn't come on. So, and look, there we go. The light just turned off there at the same time. I'm not being facetious here. I'm praying away the whole time to God. I'm getting deep into it. I feel a spiritual connection in my life returning, which I'm loving. So I'm thinking about going back to mass, and I'm just wondering who says a good mass out there. Does anyone know? I'll actually ask that question. I'm sincerely, if you're still listening, I'm surprised. All right? I'm very surprised. That's the first thing I'd say. But I'm also, you might be here for just kind of, maybe you're a pervert. Maybe you just like perversion, and you're like, oh, this is weird. I'm going to fucking endure this. My life is shit. This can't be as bad as this podcast. But if you're into that kind of stuff and you're still listening, let me know. I might set up a special Patreon for you. But yeah, God, let me know who says a good mass. I'm interested. I'd love to talk to a priest. If there's any priests out there. The lights are flicking on here, lads. This place between CMAT now and God. I don't know what to do. Let me know who says a good mass. And if there's a priest out there, I just want to talk to someone who is spiritual. I have an interest, because I have a few questions, because I'm ready to get back into that side of the world again, just to see. I have a few questions that I'm perplexed by, especially in the Old Testament. There's some wacky stuff. Do you know there was Nephilim giants apparently around the place? Giants. On this earth, Roman. This is written in. This is in the Old Testament. They say that, and that's Noah was a thing. There was a flood that wiped out the whole world, and they threw all the animals 2 by 2 onto a boat. This is the stuff that we're being sold. So I want to talk to someone who can tell me for a fact that happened, because I just need to find out. Anyway, that's mass, Richie. Okay. That concludes Trending Topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. Thank you. We're going to power on, guys. What I'm going to do on this week's episode is I'm just going to do reviews. Okay, I'm just going to review 3 matches, preview, not review. I'm going to preview 3 games that are happening. These games, by the time you listen to this podcast, 2 of these games will have concluded, and the last game then will be being played on Tuesday. So let's get into it. The first game is the Tuesday game. England versus Ghana in the World Cup. England have already won their first game, and Ghana, I think, won their game. I think they beat Panama then in their game. So it's a top of the table clash. It's pretty much Whoever wins this game is going to top the group. As I alluded to there earlier, I was playing poker during the week, and do you know what, lads? It's very hard, right? I'll tell you this now, right? There's a fucking pandemic of pain with men around the place at the moment, and it's very hard to be vulnerable with men, and it's very hard to spend time with your friends as you get older and be vulnerable, I find, right? And what I love about playing poker is you're inside in a room, right? You're sitting at a table with 9 lads, and we're all trying to take each other's money, right? That's what we're all trying to do. But we all know we're trying to do it. So there's no facade. And there's table talk going on, and you could be talking about anything. But England and who were they playing? Fucking during the week. Who were they playing? Was it fucking... Who was the first team they played with, lads? Can you remember? Gee, I haven't a clue either. I think it was Panama or something. No. Who did they play? Jesus, Croatia. England and Croatia, right? And we were all sitting there, and there was all 9 of us were vitriolic in our abuse of England. Like, none of us wanted them to win. Sorry, 8 of us. And there was one fella listening to earphones, and then eventually we found out he was English. Oh, lads. It was fucking beautiful. It was beautiful. And like he was all good-natured banter. Look, it's all banter, right? It's all banter. At this stage, like, well, is it? Do you know, like, is it good? It's good. Is it good-natured banter? Is it? I don't know. But look, you know, it was just great, and I felt like I really enjoyed the game of poker, and I really enjoyed being just fucking chatting shit. You know, chatting shit. Anyway, my prediction for that game is Ghana are going to win 5-0. All right, that's my prediction for that. That's my hope for it. Actually, it's more my hope. There's no hope really. Like England will probably win that game 3 or 4-0. They looked awesome. Kane took his goals very well. He missed his first penalty, was saved. Keeper came off the line, and categorically came off the line. Everyone in the poker room was like, there's no way he's off the line. We all knew he was off the line, but we were just shouting in a poker room in Cork that he wasn't off his line. The referee in America had VAR, you know? So it was categoric. He stuck away the second penalty. Then he got a goal with a header. Then Jude Bellingham, who was absolutely sensational, box-to-box midfielder, creative midfielder, swagger, took the game by the scruff of the neck in the second half and ended the contest. And then they emptied the bench. They brought on some great players. Rashford curled one in. 4-2. Modric is old. This is the thing with the World Cup as well this year. Has anyone fucking retired, from the last World Cup? We all thought it was Ronaldo was gone, Messi was gone, Modric was gone, but they're all back. It's brilliant. I mean, Messi got a hat-trick. Fucking brilliant. Although Ronaldo shouldn't be on the team at all. Anyway, that's my prediction, lads. I think England are going to win. I hope Ghana are going to win. So I'll move on to my next match then, which is Kerry and Armagh, and that's been played this afternoon in Kerry. And this is knockout Gaelic football. This is as pure as it gets. Nobody would have foreseen Armagh being in this situation. A late goal last week. Last kick of the game, Louth, the wee county, the Leinster champions, going for a 2-pointer. The ball drops between the goalkeeper's hands and into the back of the net. And suddenly Armagh are cast into the draw. And it's the draw of death. Last year's All-Ireland champions against the year previous's All-Ireland champions. 2 of the favourites for this year's All-Ireland being played down in Kerry. And I have a good healthy relationship. My wife is from Kerry, but I have a fierce rivalry for Kerry football, right? And I love and admire the way they play football, but I hate them, right? I absolutely fucking hate them, okay? And I don't want them to win ever in any game, right? Hurling or football, mainly football, okay? But then off the pitch, great crack, lovely people, but on the pitch, I want him to lose. So I'll be going for Armagh on this. But what I would like to say, right, and I Bernard on the podcast here a couple of weeks ago, and he's a big Kerry man. He goes to a lot of matches, and we always have great banter between each other. And my wife will have the Kerry flag on, she'll have the Kerry jersey on, and she's from Kerry. And we go on our holidays to Kerry, and Kerry's a big part of my life. But I fucking hate them when it comes to Gaelic football, all right? So I'm going for Armagh on that. But what I would like to say, and making a big point of this, is as a Kerry fan, it really has suited you this year, because you're not great to travel, are you? And you're getting everything brought down to you. You'd the Munster final brought down to you. We went down in our droves. I think you had about 4,000 at the match. The rest of it was red. You absolutely knocked us out of the park, hammered us, And then after the match, suddenly there was a load of green and gold around the place. You came out of the woodwork. I don't know how you do it. Slugs. You're like slugs coming out of the cracks, Oh yeah. When the game is up, you'll be like, Jesus Christ Almighty, you were good, weren't you? You put up a right form. Fucking fair play to you. Sure, you have another chance. You'll have another chance. You're sure, Jesus Christ, we didn't really try it all. Fuck off. But you have the home advantage now again this weekend down in Kerry, And Shawnee O'Shea is back. And all your big players. It's just so fucking easy for you, isn't it? There's no competition. We haven't been able... Cork are going well, and I gave us our dues against Donegal. Nobody saw that, But we've a block. We've a mental fucking block when we play against Kerry. And we need to get rid of it, and I'm confident we will. But, you've such an easy ride. The Kingdom have such an easy ride. Munster is a piece of piss for you, and now you have this. You win the Munster final, so you're this is a shock. Armagh shouldn't be here on paper. They shouldn't be here. And the fucking fascinating thing about this is, come the end of today, this is Saturday when this is recorded, one of those teams are gone. Who's going to win? Well, I'll give you my prediction now for that game. Right, I think Armagh are as close to a professional Gaelic football team as you can get. I think there's 3 or 4 counties in Ireland that are run almost like professional soccer clubs in England, and I think Armagh are one of them. I think Donegal are another. I think Kerry are. I think Dublin are. I don't think Cork are. I'd say Galway aren't far away from it. Tyrone aren't far away from it. And then the rest of the counties to varying degrees, and it's all catching up. But I do think Armagh are just even the way they wrote, the way he doesn't start his best team, just the thinking, the level of thinking that McGeaney has. I think it's next level. I genuinely do. And they'll be slight underdogs today, but they've been through the trenches in the last few years, and I have a feeling. So my hope is Armagh win, right? Because I don't want Kerry to fucking win. Just as simple as that, all right? But if I was putting money on it, I wouldn't back on this game because it's too hard to call. But if my life depended on it, it's impossible not to put your money on Kerry, in the sunshine. All the slugs will be out of the cracks. Their Kerry jersey will be on. Their beanies will be on. There'll be a savage atmosphere down there. It'll be just, it's guttural. Again, it'll be like the next match that I'm going to talk about. It'll be for 70 minutes. 70 fucking minutes. And I have a feeling that this game could go to extra time. And wouldn't it be lovely if it went to penalties? And wouldn't it be sweet if Armagh went on penalties? I'm fully aware that this podcast is coming out on Monday, but Richie never showed up. So indulge me. Okay? This is a fantasy podcast. Armagh to win on penalties. The last kick of the game. Remember that song a few years ago? G is for geezer, I suppose. R for Ian O'Neill. W for Wen and Sam Maguire. For the Armagh football team. That's who I'm going for anyway. I'm going for Armagh. And my prediction at the start of the year was Donegal would win the All-Ireland, and I'm not changing that either. But Cork are in the fucking mix now, lads. Up the fucking Rebels. And lastly, lads, in this week's preview show, I want to preview the Cork and Offaly match, the All-Ireland quarter-final. I've already told you I'm going down tomorrow. I can't wait for the whole adventure down there. The team came out last night, 2 nights ago, and very, very perplexing team, in my opinion. Now, I know our 2 midfielders are not even in the 26, or 2 standard midfielders aren't in the 26. They're both injured. The backs are the same backs that were on the last day, which is fair, built from the backs. Dara's back from injury, which is great. But Walsh is dropped in as a wing forward, Barry Walsh. And you know what? I could see him being dropped for this game. I didn't think in any game that he's played in Championship, and he's an awesome hurler, but he hasn't lived up to I don't know, is there a bit of a weight on his shoulders with the expectation that, you're hearing at the start of the season, Jesus, he's lifting weights stronger than any of the senior hurlers. Oh, he's going well in training and stuff like that. But and that's all well and good. And I have seen him play live. He's awesome. He's fucking awesome. But he has not been at the races in the last 2 games anyway, in my opinion. And so I could see that being the case. As for Buckley being dropped, maybe he's tinkering with the team. He's brought Alan Walsh into the full forward line. The last time I saw Alan Walsh, I was at the game, it was in Nolan Park, a league match. They brought him on in the last maybe 10-15 minutes, and he ended up getting, I think he got 1-1. 1-1 I think from play, and he looked good and he looked like an aerial threat, but we haven't really seen much of him But I do like the idea of him and Brian Hayes inside there and Connolly kind of maybe drifting out. But Buckley is a harsh drop for me because he's candidate for Young Hurler of the Year. He's been awesome in every single game. He's been tenacious. He's been jinky. He's been a great link player. He has won a lot of frees and he's prolific. So that's interesting. I don't think we're taking Offaly for granted. I don't think we are. There's no way we're taking them for granted. I think, especially after what happened to Limerick and Dublin last year, and that's not to be disrespectful to Dublin, but that was a huge shock. And I think that is something that Cork are going to be cognizant of. And I do like the backs, and I like that Dara's back in, and we have to adjust because of those midfielders missing. Hugh O'Connor comes into the team as well. I absolutely love Hugh O'Connor. I think he's kind of like a Cian Lynch-esque player. I think he's a beautiful link player. He can get a score as well. And I think he brings something different. However, again, a big game needed for him. Like a big game here now needed for him. Because I'd say Ben likes him as well. Because Ben used him a lot in the league, brought him on a lot. There was even, like, I talk all the time about our WhatsApp group, the GA WhatsApp group I'm in. And I remember at the start of the year talking in the WhatsApp group about Hugh O'Connor and talking about Buckley in the WhatsApp group and both predicting that they were going to do well. And the jury was out, and it's still out with Hugh O'Connor but I like him. I think he's got something in his locker, mercurial, like a wizard. Like he can wield the wand in a way that that Cian Lynch can, and he's got vision that you need as well. I remember the footballers years ago, Paddy Kelly, when we won the All Ireland in 2010. Paddy Kelly he saw the game differently. Do you know what I mean? Everyone knows the game. All the parameters are the same. The dimensions are the same. The jobs are the same. But some players can step above things, step above a situation and see scenarios, see space where others don't. And I think Hugh O'Connor has that ability. But it's risky, lads. It's fucking risky because, like I mentioned earlier on, Offaly, first of all, Offaly are a coming team. They're a very coming team. And who did they beat in Leinster? Was it Wexford they beat in Leinster? Which was is it the demise of Wexford or is it the rise of Offaly? It's certainly a mix of both because Offaly have been on the rise with their success in under 21. And to be fair to Wexford, they have been on the demise over the last few years. And I'm not saying they're a one-man team, but everything goes through Chin. And are you playing them in the midfield? Are you playing them in centre forward? Are you playing them full forward? They don't have the panel of players to be able to experiment the way Limerick have, the way Cork have, even the way Clare have, I mean, if you look at that other semi-final, which I'm not going to talk about now, but Clare have options, If you have one, you're not going to win an All-Ireland with one world-class hurler. You need 7 or 8 world-class hurlers, and then you need the rest. Like if you look at the great teams down through time, this current Limerick team, the Kilkenny team that have won, multiple All-Irelands, their team is littered with 10, 12 often 15, 16, 17 all-stars. Like I often saw Kilkenny bench and there could be lads with, a combined of 20 all-stars on the bench. So like, I think Offaly are on the rise. Screeney is exact. Like if there was a transfer market in hurling, I would love Screeney at Cork. He is exactly now what I'm talking about, like with Hugh O'Connor and Cian Lynch. Sees the game differently, hits the ball differently, and Offaly are able to produce, and they always were able to produce, like mercurial talents like that. Like the Whelan brothers back in the day. Like Brian Whelan. Jesus, Brian Whelan. I remember he played he played wing back, and then was in the All-Ireland. They put him in full forward when he was injured, and he got like 2-2 in an All-Ireland final or something like that. Just like geniuses. And it's great to see them back. So I am I'm going down to experience the culture with my family and to just love it and to immerse myself in it and try and be present in it and drink it all in. But I'm also going down with an analytical mind and a love for Cork hurling and going, this is great now, let's get over the line here. And I want Alan Walsh to do well. And I want Hugh O'Connor to do well. I want, them to do it, to put pressure on the likes of Barry Walsh to get back into the team, and Decky Dalton, who's carrying an injury, when he's fit, going, how the fuck am I going to get into this 26? So competition for places is amazing. It is amazing, and I love it, and I love what he's fostering, and I love what he's building. I'm just nervous. I'm a nervous fan, and I don't think I've been critical of Ben all year, and I'm not being critical of him, but I'm worried because of the changes. That's what I would say. And I think that's an okay thing to say. I'm confident in Ben. I trust. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her or him if I tried. But I'm worried. And hopefully my worries will be allayed with, Hugh O'Connor getting 3-3 and Alan getting 6-6. And so my prediction for the match, my heart says Cork, my head says Cork. And I'm going to say Cork by, I think if Offaly can give us Offaly are going to give us a good game. I got tickets for a comedian during the week as well, Neil Delamere, and he got on to me and he was asking me, he goes, I can't get tickets for the match. Is there any chance you get me tickets? I said, how many are you looking for? And he was looking for 3 tickets, and I was able to get him through another contact that I had. And that to me was worrying, that there's no tickets available in Offaly. Like Cork are known for travelling, and tickets are all right. I'm a member of my GA club, and even people texting in during the week, I have a Black Rock available, or I have a terrace available, or I have a stand available, and I'm like, you don't want this to be as a foregone conclusion in your head, because Offaly are being quiet, lads. And if you fucking look at Donegal. Everyone thought Donegal were just going to roll over Cork. Cork got the fucking flight up. They got the bus over. They got into the dressing room. They got fucking angry that everyone was giving them no chance whatsoever. And they had a plan. They had a savage game plan, and they frustrated. Who's to say Offaly aren't going to have a game plan that are going to frustrate us and then be in the game with 10 minutes? It's fucking tricky, and I'm nervous. So my heart says Cork. My head says Cork. I think it'll be close. I think it could be 3 or 4 points. Yeah, so that's it. So I think Cork are going to win. I think Kerry are going to win. I think England are going to win. They're my predictions. I'm not fucking reinventing the wheel there. I think everyone thinks that. But I want Ghana to win. I want Armagh to win. And I want Cork to win. That's this week's podcast, guys. I appreciate absolutely every one of you for listening. It was a bit of a wild one this week. It was a bit of a unique one. Back in the olden days when I was doing my podcast during COVID and I couldn't get guests, this was the type of style I used to do my podcast the whole time. I'm going to do a live podcast in the Roundy at the end of the summer, and we're going to put a poll up here. I should have said this earlier in the podcast now, but I might. I might say it again, and I'll be saying it again anyway. And we might do it another poll later in the month. But I'm going to put a poll up in this one. If you think you'd be interested in coming to it, it'll be a live podcast with guests, and probably at the back end of August. And I think that'll be a bit of crack. Follow all the social media platforms. Follow the Fearless Digital Network Studios. They're doing God's work. We've got some exciting plans in the pipeline for content and for other exciting projects. I'm in talks with the lads at the moment, and it's all very, very exciting, but we can't talk about it at the moment. It's with our people and it's with their people, and those people haven't met yet because they don't exist. And what else? Follow me, Cornelius the Comic, like and subscribe, sign up to my Patreon and all that kind of stuff, and tell a friend. If you enjoy the podcast, tell a friend. Word of mouth is amazing. It really is. I appreciate it all, guys. Thank you so much. Till next time, stay in by the wall.